All right, we're going. We're moving forward. It's my dance class. All right, so talk to me about pricing.
It's always a little high.
It's always a little high.
Yeah, right. That's a good answer.
That's interesting. Yeah, and you know what? That's good knowledge to have, especially if you got that in a specific area. Erin?
Well, this house has only been on the market 26 days and they've already lowered the price. So I'm guessing they're not getting any foot traffic because, so they lowered it $30,000.
And what's the price on the house?
It was originally $575, now it's $549.
That's a big
Wow.
drop.
Yeah.
price.
Yeah.
That's
That fast.
Yeah.
So they either want to move it or they're not getting foot traffic at all. Cause it needs a lot, cause it doesn't look modern and it's built in the 50s. It's in Highly Miley.
Oh,
wow. All right, so interesting. So is the home priced according to the market comps? It sounds like we're seeing a trend. And by the way, if you're not sure about that trend, again, just look at your emails. Price reduction, price reduction, price reduction, like a lot. We're seeing a lot of them. If not, is it too high or too low? What would make you think this? So where are we coming up with the high prices?
An apartment just sold for way cheaper, like 4 months ago, in the same apartment building, and it wasn't much nicer, but it was staged nicely. This one was no furniture, just vacant. You know, and
The
it
one
was-
that's still on the market?
the one that's still on the market and for hire.
The non-staged one, and they want more money. Can I say what they want and what it's worth?
You know what's funny is
Efficient.
the owner is a real estate agent.
Ah, you'll see that a lot. When I first did this class, I had a property I was looking at, it's been on and off the market for 4 years. And I was like, and it was a condo, right? Like you'll see that in houses, higher prices and things. But I was like, a condo, 4 years. And I thought, this is an agent. It's gonna be a little embarrassing. Like, come on, like, so funny. Like, you know better, right? All right, signage. Must be placed according to any homeowners, we talked about that, local traffic patterns. So did it have signs? Did the properties have signs? Were they in the right places?
I don't think you can put signs in that.
Yeah, a lot of condos you can't. So, you know, I think this conversation has a lot more to do with when you're doing open houses and where you place signs. I mean, you put a sign in the front yard, right? Usually that's pretty much what you can do around here. All right, staging. So was the house properly staged?
No.
Why did you say no?
I mean, the wood floors look nice, but other than that, like,
He's like, I mean, the wood floors. look
yeah,
nice.
I mean it does, but you know, if you
Wow,
added, I
sounds
feel
like
like
a crappy house.
it's actually a pretty nice house. I actually know this house. This is my friend's house before, then they sold it. And now it just went up for sale again. And it's been on the market for like 9 months now, give or take. And
What's the price?
they started off at $780. It's relatively high. It's in the
It's too
Maui
long,
Lani
too
district,
long.
but
Is it what district?
Maui Lani,
Which
no,
one?
Yeah.
Nahoku.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean it's a nice house, but I see houses around there, you know, going for like a lot less. And so they just went into it looks like they got an offer and they're going to escrow right now, but they dropped it to $748,
And started at what?
$780.
And did it start at 780
Yeah.
or, so
Started
that's the
at $780.
history?
Yeah.
how long ago was it listed?
220 days ago. Yeah. And I've seen, like-
280 days ago. I don't know. I seen it in the Hoku and all that. It's like more like 725.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's
so
a lot
it's-
cheaper.
That's why knowing your days on market is important, right? Like, this is, I was telling a seller the other day, I said, this is not like unknown territory. We know. If you don't get people coming through here, we're priced too high. Like, it's a simple process.
Like, I live right down the street too, and like they have like open houses every week, and it's vacant all the time. I never
There
see
you
cars
go.
in the driveway.
All right, images. What features of the home we want to emphasize in online photographs in the virtual tour? So how was it? How did the pictures look? What was the feedback on that?
I think when you post a picture of like an apartment building, you gotta take a picture of the whole apartment,
Like a front picture?
like a front picture, and then you gotta take pictures from the views, better pictures of the views, not just the window with the small view. You gotta like go into the window and open up the view.
Interesting, good point. Yeah, making the property look the best you can, right?
Yeah, these pictures were, there were only 4, and it was not the entire house. Like it just, it was like 90% of the house, not 100%.
Okay.
So I would like to see what the landscaping is.
What's going on with that 10%?
Yeah,
What you got in there?
How close is that other house to it?
Makes you curious, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't want that, like, you don't want your buyers to have that question of like, what are you hiding? Like, definitely don't want that. And here's what I don't get. First of all, we're not proponents of putting up phone pictures. We're proponents of hiring a professional who knows how to make the property look its best. That being said, we all have good phones with good photos, so why are there properties listed with these awful photos
Yeah, these are all
that
dark
are like
and-
a hallway? I'm like, whoa, what is that? Like, just, it's not that hard to take a decent picture, right? Good. All right, buyer profile. So what is the buyer profile for the home you've chosen? First-time buyers, young families, a large family, relocating for professional reasons. How would you market to them specifically? What'd you guys get for that?
I got investor or developer, so I'm not sure what the answer to that is. I was curious.
There you go. If it's a property firm, investor, or developer, then that's exactly what your answer is. Yeah. Now, are you asking how do you market to them?
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things you want is you want to tag your investors and developers in your database.
Okay.
So I have an investor tag. And anybody who does not, if you own a property on Maui and you don't live in it, I consider you an investor. And I will reach out. Because here's the thing, even if you're not a flipper or a developer, you know those kinds of people. So I am absolutely going to personally reach out to you as an investor if I've got a great property. Does that make sense? What did you guys get as ahas from this activity?
When I list the property, list it right.
Let's do it right, I like that. What else?
I was surprised it sold or went into escrow. I mean, not surprised. Like, it's a nice neighborhood, It's eventually gonna move, but
Well, remember, you don't know what it went into escrow for.
yeah.
Right? And here's what I try and explain to people, because they say, well, you'll hear this a lot, negotiating room. Yes, and negotiating room needs to be small, because for a lot of people, they will not write an offer that's here because they think they'll insult you, and they would rather not write an offer than insult you. So you need to leave this much negotiating room. Most sellers want to leave this much negotiating room. Does that make sense? Yeah, super important. Awesome. Okay, moving on. Page 18. Erin, have you read yet?
Not yet.
All right, this is your page.
Part of your marketing strategy and one of your 14 steps is to show the property through an open house. Holding an open house is an excellent way to market your listing and market yourself as a real estate expert. Open houses benefit the seller by attracting buyers to their home. The more visits a house gets, the faster it will sell. Buyers love open houses. Open houses benefit the agent holding the open house as a key lead generation strategy because they offer a relatively safe and non-aggressive sales environment. They provide opportunity for great face-to-face prospecting. The open house event and the time leading up to and after provides opportunity for you to build relationships, market your name to geographic farm, and secure a neighborhood's mind share. Refer to your Ignite toolkit for a guide prepare for your open house.
Very nice. All right, we're gonna watch a video.
Hi, I'm Chris Suarez, and I'm here to tell you the 5 steps to holding an effective open house. Step 1, strategically select the home you want to hold open. Choose a home that gives you the greatest potential to have buyers and sellers find you. This might be a home that is in a great traffic pattern, whether that be car traffic or people walking by in walkable neighborhoods in your community. Select a home around a local event where neighbors or even out-of-town people might be stopping in. Step 2 of holding an effective open house is advertising and marketing. Marketing begins a week in advance of any open house you might hold open. Begin by posting internet ads a week before. Get a sign in the yard and let neighbors and passerbys know that the home will be open later in the week. Remember to contact both by phone and email any internet leads or phone calls you've received on that listing prior to the open house. Don't forget to make 50 calls around the home prior to the open house and door knock, a radius of about 2 or 3 blocks. Step 3, know your scripts. Know what you're going to say to greet the visitor. Know what questions you're going to ask while they're in the home. One of the greatest first lines you could use is, "Thanks for stopping in to tour my open house. Are you one of the neighbors, or are you out shopping for a home today?" Immediately you'll know if you're dealing with a potential buyer or a potential seller. Step 4 is keep the right mindset and prepare. Remember, open houses are lead generation activities, so enter with the mindset of a top lead generator. Prepare yourself with comparable properties, market research, at least 2 or 3 other homes that you could potentially show should the opportunity arise. And step 5, always follow up with every lead that comes through that door. Call them, email them, write thank you notes that same day. A simple follow-up script to use directly after an open house goes like this. "Thanks for stopping into my open house this morning. It was great to meet you. I did a little bit of digging in the office after we met and after the open house and found 3 other properties that I think really fit your search criteria. I know the home that we saw this morning wasn't quite perfect, but these 3 have some real potential. We can get into them tomorrow at 4 or at 6, which would work better for you. Great, let's meet at my office and we can go from there." My biggest aha when doing open houses is remembering open houses are not a technique to keep current sellers happy. In reality, open houses are great lead generation tools to connect with potential future buyers and sellers. By using effective scripts and systems leading up to the open house and great follow-up techniques after the open house, you'll build a met database of future buyers and sellers. Thanks for watching KW Connect and make it a great day.
Alright, so what do you guys think? What stood out to you in that? Follow up. I'm so glad you said that. So important. I can't tell you how many people I've met that have done like 15 open houses, and I'm like, so what's going on with your follow up? And they're like, well, I have their names in these guest register books. And my heart hurts, and I'm like, next time you have an open house, just give me the names. Just give me the names. Have a follow up system. So many different ways you can set up your follow-up system. It just depends on how you want to do it. You can have email follow-ups, definitely do phone calls, definitely have conversations with them. I know one guy who he's leaving, and when he gets all the signs in the car, he parks on the side of the road and calls everybody and says, "I was just wondering if you saw any other properties that you liked today." Because if they came to your open house, they might have gone to other open houses. That's pretty quick follow-up, right? I was like, oh dang, that's pretty good. So lots of strategies around it, but yes, follow up, follow up, follow up. You'd be amazed. It leads to deals. Yes, Terry.
He didn't ask them, or he didn't mention asking them if they represented.
No, he did not. He didn't ask
Would you
that.
do that?
Yeah,
You
I
have
would
to have
absolutely.
enough
Yeah.
days? Okay.
Yeah, I
Because
would
a lot
ask
of
that.
times people show up for open houses not with their agent.
Right. Are you, so sometimes people say, are you working with an agent? I say, are you working with a local Maui agent?
Okay.
Because a lot of times, remember, you called, I can help you on their app. Man, you send somebody over here and you're not with them and you don't have her, I'll snake them from you. Because you're on Oahu or something, you don't know our market.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, you need somebody who knows the market, right? You gotta have somebody who's got, that's why I was gonna recommend that you have like a referral partner on those islands that can do like boots on the ground and help you with the nuances if you don't know the markets. But it's a great way to go. So definitely want to ask that question. Anything else you guys get from that?
I like the opening script, finding out if they're another buyer or another seller.
Right.
Are you one of the neighbors, or are you looking for the property to buy today?
Right. Exactly. Plus, again, so many people are afraid to say, "Are you looking for a property to buy?" Which I think is funny. I'm like, why wouldn't you ask?
We're at an open house, of course.
Yeah, of course. Like, are you looking to buy today, or is this a future plan? Like, they're in your open house. Like, there's some sort of plan there. Even if they are walking into a vacation rental and they're on vacation here, there's a plan there. Figure out what it is, right? Ask questions. Nice. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna move to page 19, and Braden, you are up. Read it to us, please.
Think of an open house as a big event. Treat it as a massive marketing campaign. Unleash all your lead generation creativity. Invite people directly into your open house by actively prospecting for traffic. This is a critical lead generation activity that will build your database and position you as the neighborhood expert. Door knocking. In Shift, Gary Keller recommends knocking on 100 surrounding homes. Why so many? Because informing the neighbors about your open house will not only create more traffic, it will also allow you to lead generate for buyers and sellers. And preview other homes for sale in the neighborhood. Be sure to include in nearby apartment complexes, as this will also give you the opportunity to lead generate for renters who may be interested in buying. National Association of Renters reports that 92% of buyers use the internet in their property search. Zillow, Trulia, and Realtor.com are popular sites for open house information. Use social media to get the word out about your open house, create a Facebook event, and invite everyone. I like that. Market the open house as a fun and exciting event. Post your open house on neighborhood groups and forums. Get the word out to as many people, as many groups and forums as possible.
Excellent. And what's the tip?
When it comes to Facebook, don't use your personal Facebook account or your real estate services. Why? It lacks professionalism. Establish a professional Facebook account for your real estate business.
So I'm gonna point you to the very, very, very bottom writing on the page that says, does yours say 2016? 2017. So I think that's an outdated tip. I think back in 2017 and 2016, it was common that you needed the professional page. Now I think we're getting to where people are steering away from the professional pages and wanting, like, really you as a real person. So I think the opposite of that tip is true. I actually think, yeah, and I actually have both just because I have my professional page, but I think people are looking for authenticity in the people that they do business with, and so we've kind of reverted to the opposite. Interesting how tech outpaces paperwork, right? So funny. All right, moving on. Page 20, sell your listing. Miss Terry, you're up.
Twitter, is that what it started?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
Okay, there's no title?
Nope.
Sell your listing, maybe it just faded. Twitter is another amazing way to keep connected with your clients. Twitter gives you 140 characters or less, and to give updates to your followers about your open house. You can use hashtags to connect with the market and extend your posting reach beyond just your following. Use it to engage and keep strengthening your relationships. Social media ideas. Use images when you put a post on Facebook. Tweet tips about moving and staging. Marketing a real estate listing. Set up a Pinterest board for your real estate listings. Engage when you use social media for real estate. Use contests and sweepstakes.
All right, we need to fill in 2 more. Everybody help Terry. What else?
On Instagram, you can do these questionnaire buttons. Do you think it's priced right? Yes, no.
Oh,
And you can.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, Instagram is.
Love it.
And you can share Facebook to Instagram.
Yeah, there. If you post to your Instagram, it can share automatically to your
Yeah.
Facebook, which is one of the ways I do that.
Do you use all of these platforms?
No, and here's what I'm gonna tell you. You need to pick the platform you're going to work. Because you can, if you try and do 6 platforms at once, you're gonna be ineffective. So you need to pick the platforms that you choose. So I actually personally work LinkedIn, and then I work Facebook and only Instagram to post to my Facebook, because I don't really understand Instagram. I just know I'm supposed to be on there. And I'm like, if it's gonna post to my Facebook anyway, then I don't mind posting it there. But I would say pick 1 to 3 max and be good at it. Really good at it. And I would also say when it says use images when you post on Facebook, videos. Use videos when you post on Facebook. Much more interesting. I did, let's see, I had a 12-month span where I did 98 open houses. So I have a little experience on the open house game. And almost every open house, I took a video while I was in the open house. And I posted on my Facebook. Because you know what that tells the people that I know that are on my Facebook? I work. I don't just pretend I'm a realtor. I'm not a part-time realtor. Like, I work my business, and they see me, and I'm, you know, I'll give tips or whatever, make it about something. But yeah, really important piece. Good question.
Do you adhere to this 80-20 rule, 80 personal, 20 professional on your Facebook?
Yes, and I actually think if you're building rapport, 90-10 is actually better. You really, when you're posting, and the thing is, you want to be a resource for knowledge, not just here's a listing, right? You want to be a knowledge resource. So when you're posting stuff, often it's here's a tip for sellers, or here's a tip for buyers, or here's a this, or here, right? Like knowledge versus just here's a house for sale that I'm selling, right? So I think that's the conversation, and then you want to do your personal piece on that page as well. So yeah, you have to find what works for you and what your audience is. So awesome. Would you mind keep reading, Terry?
Community websites. Many neighborhoods have community websites and Facebook pages. This is an excellent way to get the news out about your open houses. Leverage your database. Pull up your Mets in your database and call people who may be interested in an open house property, or might know someone else who may be interested. Send an email to your database announcing your open house and information about the house and the neighborhood as enticement.
Nice. Malia, communicate with the sellers.
Remember, you have told the sellers it is all about them, and you have promised them a 10+ customer service. You have agreed to communicate in the ways that work for the sellers, whether once a week, once a day, by phone, email, or text message. Update your sellers regularly from listing to closing, including the status of your marketing efforts, feedback from the home's showings, any offers on the table, and the steps leading to a successful closing once an offer is accepted. Be sure to block time on your calendar for this. Follow up with your sellers and be sure these updates happen, even if there's no news to report. This may look like just words, but it represents the covenant or agreement that you have entered into with your sellers. Great communication is not just about agreement over what you've communicated. It's equally about agreement on how and when you will communicate. There's no such thing as over-communicating when it comes to providing outstanding service to your client.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to go through the communication checklist. So what value do each of the following communication tips provide to the customer? So follow preferences. Always ask and learn about your customer's preferred communication method and timing. Is it phone, email, text message, twice a week? What do they prefer, right? People ask me all the time, how do you, are you going to send me emails? Are you going to send me texts? What do you prefer, right? It's all about them. What do they want? And you're going to follow their communication style. So you need to be versed in all communication styles. Number 2, match style. In person or on the phone, always seek to match their communication style. Does everybody understand what that looks like? Do you guys understand what that looks like in text form?
Using emojis or not?
That's one
well,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't use emojis unless they've used an emoji. That's a
Exactly.
very good point.
Yeah.
Here's the other one. So my text style is actually paragraphs. I like to text in paragraphs. When millennials text me, they text me the shortest sentences I've ever seen, and they'll text me 5 sentences, and I go, oh, I gotta break my paragraph up into each sentence being out. That's literally how they read. You gotta match their text style. So if they do send it, they'll go, hey, and send it. And I'm like, hey, what? Like, there's more to this. I haven't heard from this person forever. And then I'll get a sentence, and I'm like, oh, that's what it's about. And then I'll get another sentence, and then I'll get another couple words, and then I get it. And I'm like, wow. So I literally have to take my paragraph, I write it out, I cut all but the first sentence, and I send the first sentence. And then I paste it, and I cut all but the next sentence, and I send the next sentence. If you send a paragraph to someone who is texting you in single sentences, they won't read your paragraph.
Oh, this is such a long text.
Yeah, exactly. And then you get people who do paragraphs that's one run-on paragraph, and then you get people who are separate paragraphs separated by space.
That's what I do.
I will text you back the way you text. It's how I do it. Because to me, you text that way because that's how you read. So it's important. So I would literally take the effort to do that. It makes a difference. People will read your stuff.
I never considered that. I just text the way I text. So
Right?
Good to know.
But if you literally text a paragraph to someone who reads in sentences, you're like, I gave you this information. And they're like, I didn't read it because it's a whole paragraph. I don't read paragraphs anymore, right?
Yeah.
Just depends. All right, always update. Updates should happen even when there may be no new information to share. If there is no news, consider if there needs to be changes in condition, price, or both. So is there anything wrong with calling a seller and saying, I told you I'd call you on Mondays and Fridays, it's Monday. I have no news. Would you make that call?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, you said you'd
Stay in
call.
contact.
You better
And-
call.
And they'll be like, really, you had nothing? Yeah, no, but I told you I'd call you every Monday, Friday, so I'm calling you. And by the way, I tell them I'm gonna call them once a week and I call them twice a week. Under promise, over deliver. You guys know that saying, right? Get it? Yeah. Makes sense. All right, be prompt. Always respond as soon as possible or on the expected schedule. Is that important? Why is that valuable to the customer? Professional.
I feel like that's how they think you handle all of your business. It's always on
Yes.
point, staying on top of everything.
That is so true, Micah, so true. How you do anything is how you do everything, and most people know that, even if they don't know the bold law. That's a bold law, by the way. How you do everything, it's on there somewhere. How you do anything is how you do everything, right? So if I show up late all the time, am I a thorough person? Probably not. I mean, this is a big deal, right? It's their real estate. You show up like too many times, and some people who are like really timely will be like, you're not working for me anymore. Because I don't know what's going on over there with all that stuff that you say you're doing that I don't believe you're doing. So it's very much an ethical conversation. I actually think that's one of the most important things. That's why what they teach you in bold is when you walk in for a listing presentation, you say to the person, this is the first line, it's 9 a.m. and we had an appointment at 9 a.m. May I come in? Like you literally point out that you're on time. It's 9 a.m. sharp and we had an appointment at 9 a.m. May I come in? Like that's literally how you greet them. You point out, I am right on time. Because you know what? You got people flying in 5 minutes late, 10 minutes late, and then they're like, that person showed up right on time. Makes a difference. All right, never talk down. Always communicate as a partner with your customer. You guys see the value of that? I think that had a lot to do with what, like you were talking about, never make them wrong, right? Never make them wrong, right? All right, keep a log. Maintain a communication log in your EH database or your database, wherever it is. So you're always reminded of what was said in the last contact. Read your log before you call. I actually do that with all of my contacts. Every time I have a conversation, I leave a voicemail, it's going in there, right? I want to know what I talked about the last time. Because if you got somebody who's really thorough, and you call them and you try to have the same conversation you've already had with them, remember, you called 100 other people, but they remember the conversation with you because you're the only agent they were talking to. Now you look dumb. And they're like, you don't even remember me. But on the other hand, when you call up and you're like, oh, hey, blah, 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 and you refer back to a note from a year ago, and they're like, how did you remember that? And you're like, my memory's just that good. Yeah, because my memory's not, I can't remember what I did last week, right? All right, decision maker focus. Always include all decision makers. That makes sense, and you want to ask that if you're being called over for a listing presentation. Is everyone who's making a decision on this listing going to be available, right? Very important. Same question for buyers. Great attitude. Always be enthusiastic and positive. Think that's important? Nice. You're going to handle stress. You need to have a good attitude, right? Yes. All right, 23, customer experience. Customers do business with you because of your service and the perceived value they get from that. They want to do business with people that help them feel comfortable with making one of the biggest decisions in their life. Truth, an excellent customer experience will set you apart. Always under promise and over deliver. There it is, my favorite saying. This idea should be a hallmark of your business, and here are some examples. If you say you will communicate once a week, communicate twice a week, or until the seller asks you to scale down. I just said that, didn't I say that? Say your staging expert will be in touch with the sellers that week, and then make sure the stager calls them the next day. What other things can we do that are under promise and over deliver?
Like,
The stager one?
yeah. For anything.
Yeah, because
not
they're just like, oh, that person was so prompt. What else? What else can we do? How can we under promise and over deliver?
I like neighborhood stats. Or information,
Yep.
updates.
Provide information, absolutely. Don't think that once you're listed, you don't have to still give them the information of what's happening.
What's
Keep
sold.
them informed. Yeah, for sure. Put yourself on a Paragon search for that neighborhood. So the moment anything happens in there, you get an email.
Say you hold a couple of those open houses and hold 10.
Yeah, there you go, right? Say, I can probably hold it open 3 out of the 7 days and then just hold it open every day. Email every day, you know, if this is a vacant home, that's the easiest stuff. Nice. So you guys get the idea. Okay. 24, be solution oriented. Where are you? Micah, I think it's your turn to read.
Hone your problem resolution skills. Make it a habit never to communicate with a client about a problem without having one or more solutions to recommend. Your clients are looking to you to be the expert, to have the answers. What kind of problems might arise that you can apply solutions to and be seen as the customer's hero?
What kind?
Have a handyman that you can always, or like have like a plumber or a contractor that you can
Yes.
always.
Your vendors.
Vendor list. And the most important is to have that handyman that you like have a relationship. So like if I call you, you're gonna be there in 48 hours and get it done. Because handymen on this island tend to be really busy. So if you have that one that will like fit you in no matter what, that's huge. So you are right, absolutely. Vendors for sure. Be seen as the hero. Yep. Anything else? What else makes us the hero? What kind of problems might arise that you can apply solutions to?
Title problems that you should have the answers to.
Yep, or be able to get the answers to and be on top of it. And remember, have a system to create, I use my phone for it. Whenever I get a question from a seller, even if it's in passing question, like if I'm there for the inspection and they ask a quick question, I write it down if I don't have the answer. And then I'm always going back to that list. And even if it takes me a little bit of time going back and saying, hey, I got an answer to this, and they're like, I can't believe you remembered I asked that question. You know, whatever, you're always gonna follow up with them, right? Don't let anything they ask you slip through the cracks. It's a really important piece.